Okay, I just checked my other recordings and it seems that it's working, so I'll just keep going. Okay, last time we're done with the breaking news and our red solid. Now let's move to something more interesting and complex. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, where is it? Oh yes, let's go into Stranger Things. First thing you have to do is install this Stranger Things font. It's called ITC Benguiat. New composition. Grab your text tool and just drag and write in all caps Stranger Things. It's not showing up. You can just press Command A and reduce the size of your text until everything comes into screen. Change this font to ITC Benguiat and make it even smaller. And bring your text close together by reducing the padding. Cool, here is your text. Let's just make sure that our anchor point is at the center. Beautiful. And then you can go to align and align horizontally and vertically to make sure that your text is on the very center of the screen. Now we're gonna work with effects the first time. So the effect we're gonna work with is called stroke. And it sits under the generate tab, this one here. If you wanna look for it manually, you open down the generate folder and look for stroke. The thing is, the stroke effect only works on outlines. So we need to grab our text and then right click on our layer and then create masks from text. So right click your layer and then go to create masks from text. Cool. You should be seeing all the anchor points and the paths around the letters because it just created outlines as if you were in Illustrator and you select a text and you hit Command-Shift-O. Now, keep your text here. It's turned invisible when you create this other layer with the outlines. And notice that with the outlines, you cannot change your text anymore. So only create your outlines when you are confident that your text will not need any modifications. Now, if all these colors and dots is actually getting in your way of understanding how this works, you can turn them off by clicking here on your toggle mask and path visibility. Just clicking that. Done. Invisible. Now, on our outlines, we are going to grab that stroke effect and just drag and drop it on our outlines. And then the stroke controls will show up right here. Now, there are other ways of doing it. You can just right click on the layer, go to Effect, Generate, and then Stroke. Beautiful. Same thing. Now, your project has turned into a Effect Controls panel. You can click on those double arrows right here to go back to your project. See? It's there. Now, let's go back to our effect controls. The stroke effect, it needs to work again on masks, okay? And you can select a stroke for each different letter, or you can just click here in all masks to work on all masks at the same time and even stroke sequentially. So it will stroke from stranger to things, like so. Let's make our stroke color red, so there is some contrast with the background. Brush size bigger, let's say 3 points. And then the last thing we're going to do is on the paint style where it says on the original image, let's change that to on transparent. There you go. Now we're left with just the stroke. And now what we need to do is to animate this stroke. So let's move on to 1 second. And let's turn on our end control and make it 0%. Now we're going to go forward in time, let's say 3 seconds, and we're going to make our end 100%. So now when we play, we can see that the stroke is animated from 1 to 3 seconds, and it animates from left to right. Okay, if we do the same thing using the start controls, we will animate from right to left. Cool. Right. If you want to check the keyframes that you have on a layer, you can just click on that layer and press U. U will show you all the keyframes that you have active on that layer. In my case, I have here my keyframes for the end controls of my stroke. So I'll select the first one, right click, keyframe assistant, easy out. Set the second one, keyframe assistant, easy in. Remember to always do that with your frames, okay? With your keyframes. You can also even get some motion blur. I don't know if it's going to make a difference at this stage, but still pretty cool. Right, and this is how you get a stroke to work. Easy. But let's take Stranger Things, further a little bit. Let's go, still under the generate section, let's go look for a light sweep. CC light sweep. Drag and drop it in here. And then you have this shiny reflection going on your word right now. And the light sweep effect will also show up right here on your effect controls panel. We are pretty much done with the stroke. We're not going to use it anymore, so you can just click on this drop down button here to minimize it. And also, this effects button turns your effect on and off. It works pretty much like the eyeball on your layer. Okay? For the light sweep, what we need to do is work with this center here, this crosshair. Okay? So this crosshair is now part of the light sweep control. I'm going to position it here so I can see what color I'm going to change it to and how that color is going to behave with okay, this orange, actually this very pale orange actually looks nice. And then we're going to make this travel all across our width. So let's position it outside of our width. And let's turn on our center stopwatch. Then we go forward in time, let's say in 2 seconds, and then we just move it across the other side of the screen. So that way when we play, you can see the light sweep going across our word. Another thing to notice, when you look at these keyframes down here, notice they are very, very small. You cannot even click on them. That's because they're minimized. If you go to your light sweep over here and you press U, oh my God, I broke it. Just joking. Press U a few times until the keyframes actually come up. You can see them in here as well. So let's just out in ta-da. Cool. You can even add an extra one and make this actually 90 degrees and bring the crosshair like in between the words just to give them like an extra shine. Nice. Beautiful. Last but not least, let's do some sort of like light leak. So we're gonna go get the light rays and drag and drop them on our text. And then they will come up here as well. The light rays also work with a center crosshair, which is this one right here. And this is what it does. So we're going to position it over here, perhaps. Bump up the intensity. 200. I'll bring down the radius to, let's say, 20. There you go. And then what I'm going to do is make this thing travel all across our wood. So let's make sure that it starts outside first, so there are no light leaks. Let's turn our center stopwatch on, go forward in time, and just drag it across the wood. Like so, you can hold Shift to make sure it drags on a straight line. And when you play, it should travel like this. The keyframes are also minimized, so you can press U a couple times to bring the keyframes to the center. So again, and god damn it, I said in. The mouse keeps. There you go. This is a bit slow because it's actually rendering, so just let it render once more, and there you should have it. That's too fast. Just make it move it over to 8 seconds. That should do it. Okay, slightly better. It's fine. And that is pretty much it for the Stranger Things effect thing. So using effects on text is actually pretty good because they actually enhance your typography. They celebrate the typeface that you work with. It's actually pretty nice. I like using effects on text. So let's just recap export for this file. You can go File, Export, at Render Queue. And then what you do is you go to Output Module Lossless, change your format options to Apple ProRes 422, hit OK, hit OK, click on the output and select where you want to save. In my case, I'm saving on the desktop, and I'm going to call it Stranger Titles, and just save and hit render. You should hear a sound when it's done, and when you hear that, it means your job is done, and that's pretty much it. Yay! Just wait for it. Not long to go. The more effects you put in your timeline, the longer it's going to take to render. Keep that in mind. Oh, geez, that is indeed taking a while. It's okay, it's going to be worth it. Oh boy, that was loud. Okay. Done. So now if I go to my desktop, I will find my Stranger Title right here. Nice. I'll have to record the Brooklyn Nine-Nine another time because I have a meeting to go to. So I'll just stop my recording right here and I'll put that on YouTube for you guys. Thank you. Stop recording.